This is Feed Your Mind Wellness. I'm Dr. Sandy, and I'm so pleased to have with me today Congressman Robert Dold from the United States 10th Congressional District, House of Representatives. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sandy. It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Glad to have you here. So I was recently at the wellness fair that you organized for caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
And how did this come about? What motivated you to organize a caregiver fair?
Well, when we look at caregivers in general, most caregivers don't realize they're caregivers just to begin with, and there's over 65 million caregivers in the country right now. Mm-hmm. And whether it's a spouse taking care of a sick spouse, or somebody that's taking care of a wounded veteran, or grandparents taking care of grandchildren, there's just a tremendous amount of caregivers out there, and oftentimes I think they feel alone, they feel isolated, and they don't often know of the resources that are out across the country, and specifically regionally, or even around the corner, that may be able to help them in their daily lives. So I wanted to make sure we were able to highlight some of the great resources that are here in the 10th District that are able to help caregivers provide some of the very basic services for their loved ones. Dr. Sandy, one of the things that we found from doing this caregivers event is that many caregivers actually don't get out of the home, and therefore it's very difficult for them to get information about some of the resources and the services that are available to them. That's why I'm pleased that you can either go to my website at www.dold.house.gov, or also you can go to the website here that you have, and it's going to be up on public access.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what is that website?
That's feedyourmindwellness.com.
Well, again, another great resource for caregivers that are out there to be able to go to another place, and hopefully they're going to be able to have access to this show as well. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Thank you. I'm here today with Debbie Hagee, and yes, Debbie is from the Family Service Prevention, Education, and Counseling Program. Debbie, can you tell us a little bit about the services that you provide?
Well, at our agency, we provide counseling services to all the seniors in Lake County. We do in-home counseling sessions, or they can come into our Highland Park office, or our Barrington office, or our Wakanda office. And we also provide caregiver services. We have a caregiver resource center, and at the Caregiver Resource Center, we provide things like assistance for legal advice. We provide respite service. We link caregivers to resources in the community to help them out with their caregiving.
Just what is respite care?
Respite care is an opportunity for the caregiver to have a couple hours away to recharge themselves, to make themselves a priority for a few hours on a weekend or during the week, whatever's convenient for them. In fact, I had an intake call a few months ago, and it was from a woman who was looking for some caregiver counseling. And I took all her information, and then I asked her when she would be available, and she said, well, I think the best time would be as I drive to work. And I was totally shocked at that, because this woman was so sparse on time and just really didn't have an opportunity to take care of herself, that she was willing to talk about things that were really, really emotionally charged on her way to work. And I just advised her, I said, I really don't think that that's the best opportunity for you to take care of yourself. And I advised her to take some time and think about it, and let me know if she wanted to do some caregiver counseling in-home at some point in time.
So, Pam, we're talking today about caregivers, the forgotten person in the equation. Can you tell us what your center does to support the caregiver?
They can get counseling, they can find out about respite, home health care, home health aid. This is a very unique program where all the other programs in the Federal Healthcare Center really are geared towards the veteran. This is completely geared toward the caregiver.
And caregivers often forget to take care of themselves.
They do. As I mentioned, there's the beautiful Caregiver Center where we
What's in that center?
we encourage the caregivers to come to the center. We have complimentary hot and cold drinks. We have snacks. I have a whole caregiver resource library there where they can read about how to take care of themselves, how to exercise. It's also a place where they can meet other caregivers that they can relate to and share with, because they tend to feel very isolated at home.
So if someone is taking care of a loved one and they need to get out themselves, do you have a service then? Catholic Charities could come in and have a few hours?
Yes, we do. We do have, it all depends on how they score, or how many hours that they're allowed to have during the week. It could be 3, it could be 6 hours. So if a loved one needs to get out to do some shopping, we do have someone that can come in there and help that person out for an hour or so while that person does their duties, so they can be able to, spend a little time for themselves.
Sure. So this would give some relief for the caretaker.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What areas do you serve?
We service all of Lake County, from the border of Wisconsin to Lake Cook Road, Sheridan Road to Route 12. So it's basically Lake County.
Okay.
Well, CJE Senior Life provides an array of services. We're a full comprehensive agency. And specifically for the caregiver, we offer, we have our own website for the
Great.
caregiver. So that would be first and foremost. And all the resources are available on our caregiving website, www.caregivinghelp.org. So that's certainly could be very beneficial. And then also for the caregiver, maybe resource and benefits. So we have available resource specialists all in the Northwest community to help with any kind of benefits or information and referrals, so that it can be user-friendly for any kind of caregiver or for the individual themselves. And the area that we serve is certainly all of Cook, Lake County. We go far and wide. We also have geriatric care management services, certainly to be a respite for the caregiver. At times, certainly, they can't be everywhere, so we do offer care managers that can be of help.
I'm with Donna Copeland Hill, who is with the Northeastern Illinois Agency on Aging. Hi.
Good morning.
You provide a lot of services for caregivers. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I can. It's through the Federal Older Americans Act, and it provides services for family members of any age who are taking care of older loved ones. And what we have family members can take a temporary break from their caregiving duties when they're stressed out or they have to leave town or whatever.
Sure.
They can receive what we call gap-filling services, which mean if there's something that can't be paid for in any other way, for some reason they need incontinence supplies, grab bars, that kind of thing, we can help with that. Also, there are legal services available to family caregivers. Also, there's caregiver training and education services that they can receive through the Older Americans Act funding.
Well, this is certainly a vast array of services that you're offering so that they don't slip into overcare, which is a big problem.
That's correct. We recognize the value of family caregivers. Actually, 80% of the nation's seniors are taken care of by family members rather than by into an institution or that kind of care, and it's the family members that are actually worth, I forgot how many billions, but it is in the billions of dollars, and they are so valuable. We're so grateful for what they do.
Grandparents, there's 7 million children in the United States being raised in grandparent-headed households. Some are there with the parents also. Some are there temporary because the parents for some reason can't take care of their children. And then there's a portion of them that are going in the long haul. They're raising the kids to college because the parents cannot do it for one reason or another. A huge number of the reasons are that they are substance abusers and just cannot take care of their own children. The children come to the grandparents. They may be abused, neglected, and or abandoned. So they come with many issues. Some of them suffer from ADD, ADHD, fetal alcohol syndrome, post-traumatic stress, and attachment disorder. Some of them need help in grieving the loss of their parents and the life as they knew it, whether it was good or bad. It's what the child knew, and they need help.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Tell me what the Illinois Respite Coalition does.
But one thing I really want to talk about today is that in '09, we were awarded a federal lifespan respite grant in partnership with the Illinois Department on Aging. And one of the mandates of that grant is emergency respite funding. And with that funding, we can provide emergency respite services for any family who may need this. And the goal of this is to be able to have families utilize this funding in an unforeseen, unplanned circumstance. The way to access this funding is to visit illinoisrespite.org. There's an emergency respite tab that can tell you everything about this funding. And it's really important that we use these funds. It is federal money that we were able to bring into our state, and we have to utilize it by the end of next year. So I encourage everybody to go on that and to be able to use these funds.
Congressman, do you plan to repeat this event?
Well, I do plan to repeat the event. This first one was a success, but we want to build on this success because obviously the first time you do something, you get some people to come. If you can repeat it and it was successful, hopefully we'll be able to get more and more people to come, more and more providers of services to come, and it will just build upon itself. So we're looking to build on the success we've had thus far, and we think it's going to be really beneficial for our community and for our caregivers.
Absolutely. Well, you are to be commended for bringing this to the community, for organizing it, and for shedding light on such an important topic, which is often under the surface.
Well, it is under the surface, and I take my own experiences with my grandmother, and I know that when she went on dialysis, it was something that, although I wasn't the primary caregiver, I found myself taking time out to make sure that we were able to get her there on a regular basis, and it's something that families will find themselves being a caregiver. Almost everyone out there watching will find themselves as a caregiver at some point in time in their lives.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today.
It is my pleasure to be with you, Dr. Sandy, and thank you for doing it, and congratulations on your show.
Thank you, and it's been a pleasure talking
Real pleasure.
with you.
Thank you so much.
This has been Feed Your Mind Wellness. You can find more information on our website, feedyourmindwellness.com, and tune in next month when we will be looking at fitness for the new year and giving you lots of tips to get healthy and fit. Well, thank you so much.
Dr. Sandy, thank you so much for having me.
Today.
It is absolutely a pleasure.
To
Pleasure's
talk
mine.
with you.
And congratulations on your show. It's a wonderful show. We wish you all the success.